Welcome back to the Move to Millions podcast. I am your host, Dr. Darnyelle, God Girl, 8-figure entrepreneur, and the award-winning CEO of Incredible One Enterprises. I just love the name of our company. This is the place where we transform the soul and the strategy of 6-figure CEOs so that they make the move to millions. Welcome back. If this is your very first time here, I am so excited that you're here. I know it won't be your last because of the work that we are doing here. Our soul and strategy work is truly about aligning your business, your body, and your bank account with your divine assignment. Can I get a witness? Can I get an amen? Can I get a little excitement? We are up to episode number 3 in the For the Love of Money series. And I am so excited about how excited y'all are about this series. Today, we're going to talk about something few CEOs are ever really honest about. And that, drum roll please, is what happens when more money doesn't feel good. When instead of celebrating overflow, you feel guilty. When success starts to stretch your relationships, and when your income rises, but so does your anxiety and your stress. Can we get into all of that today? Listen, let's go. Here's the truth, y'all. You cannot pray for overflow, then panic every time payroll hits. That is not alignment. That is an identity conflict. And the reason why you're seeing this ripple effect on all the things that are happening inside of your life experience is because of what we're going to get into today. We're literally going to unravel all of the things that are in the way, that are messing with your money, and how your money is designed to expand you in every possible way. And we're going to start by talking about what I call the guilt of growth. Now, I want you to think about it this way. When your income increases, but your internal calibration hasn't yet caught up, typically that is when we'll see guilt. And that is when guilt will creep in like a thief in the night. Suddenly, out of nowhere, it feels like what should be overflow is actually a burden, like your shoulders are literally heavy and you start to second guess everything. Why do I have so much when the people I love are still struggling? Have you ever said that to yourself? My dad actually said that to me once. What if God is testing me and I actually fail? We try to spiritualize it, y'all. What if I lose it all and everyone sees that I wasn't ready, or I wasn't worth it, or I didn't deserve it? What if they think I've changed and they start to leave me? Y'all, that was probably the one that hit me the most. What if I have changed and I don't even recognize myself anymore? I'm just going to say this right here, and I might say it again in this episode. Money is an amplifier of what you have not healed. All of those thoughts and beliefs that you have, this is how success turns into self-sabotage. It's how abundance gets downgraded to anxiety. Because without integration, every dollar over your old identity is going to feel unsafe. In your body, in your bank account, it's going to cause all the things to show up. And let's be clear, we don't talk about enough how the emotional whiplash that shows up when you elevate. We're not having them conversations, and we need to. The part where your bank account says abundance, but your body still feels like survival. And the truth is, if you do not feel safe with money, you're going to find a way to get rid of it. I literally can think of so many people I know, some clients, some colleagues, that literally will have their largest launch ever, and within 60 days, they're scrambling for cash flow again. According to a report by Psych Central, over 70% of first-generation high earners experience wealth guilt, especially when they come from backgrounds of lack or financial trauma. I'm sure that's not a surprise to you. It absolutely wasn't a surprise for me when I was doing research for this episode. Harvard Business Review found that 68% of entrepreneurs and small business owners actually report emotional strain from success, not failure. How about that? Here's what I know. Guilt is the residue of an old identity trying to survive in a new reality. Some of y'all can't hear me though. And I'm going to, just to anchor in, I've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. I'm going to take you back to 2014. If you've been listening to the show, then you've heard this story before, but maybe you haven't heard it quite this way. It was the year 2014 that I had my first 7-figure payday. $1.3 million in cash in 3 days. It was really in a day and a half, but it was during my live event experience. By all measures, y'all, I had made it. I should have been over the moon excited. Can I keep it real with you? I felt like I had just entered a war zone. Suddenly, out of nowhere, I understood exactly what Biggie meant when he said more money, more problems. It was painstakingly clear. It was showing up in my body. It was showing up everywhere. My phone was blowing up. Not just people I hadn't talked to for years popping in and asking for money, asking for favors, but team members showing their behinds and all of a sudden feeling like they were worthy of raises when they hadn't put in more effort to substantiate getting a raise. Team members acting so funny, all the entitlement and all the resentment. On the inside, y'all, your girl was literally spiraling. Literally. Because here's the part that nobody tells you. No one told me. And at the time, I had a business coach that absolutely should have been able to prepare me. If your identity is not calibrated to your income, success will feel like a setup. Y'all, I felt set all the way up. I hated my business. I literally remember sitting in my office after all the dust settled from the event and the launch, surrounded by all the money that came in and all the congratulations. And instead of feeling peace, I felt so much pressure. I'm talking about heavy pressure to hold it all together, to not mess it up, to keep proving that I was worthy of what I had just received, because I felt for so long when the money showed up, all of a sudden I would be happy. I was like, shouldn't I be happy right now? When ultimately I really felt like I could have had a VA. Y'all know, if you know, you know. It taught me that money doesn't fix your internal world. It only magnifies it. Again, I say, money amplifies whatever you have not healed. I hadn't done my work, y'all. I wasn't ready. I was praying for the increase, but I hadn't actually prepared my fields for the rain of the increase. Okay, I got a sidebar for a moment. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite movies in the world, Facing the Giants. If you know the movie, then you might even know the scene where I'm about to go to. Coach Taylor is the coach of the team. The team sucks. Let's just keep it real. They are doing really, really bad. It thinks the team is apathetic. He is starting to really question himself because he has not been able to come in and do what he knows that he can do, what he has the potential to do. And it's getting really, really bad. The parents are turning on him. Some of his coaching staff are starting to turn on him. And he's like, I just don't know if I can do it. In walks Mr. Bridges. Now, Mr. Bridges is one of like the old fathers of the school. He comes in every single week and he prays over the lockers of the kids. And so one day, Mr. Bridges walks straight into Coach Taylor's office and he's like, Coach Taylor, you are not done here yet. God said you are to bloom where you are planted. He drops that nugget and he's out. Coach Taylor follows Mr. Bridges. He's like, he caught up to him. He's like, Mr. Bridges, I heard you, bruh. Now, this is the Darnyelle version. You're going to have to watch the movie to get the real version. He's like, I heard you. But what I need you to know is I'm praying, but I'm also struggling. I do not see God at work. And this is when Mr. Bridges dropped the bomb on him. Cue the Gap Band. He dropped the bomb on him. He said, Grant, there were 2 farmers. They both were praying for rain, but only one went out and prepared his fields for the rain. Which one are you? And of course, Grant says, I want to be the one who prepares his fields. Mr. Bridges says, God will send the rain when he is ready. Here's what I'm adding. This is completely Darnyelle. This is not scripted into the movie. God will send the rain when he's ready, but he will not send the rain if you're not prepared. He's not going to do that to you. And so even as this was happening to me, and the bottom was like literally, it was chaotic, y'all. I ended up paying a lot of money in taxes. It was a mess. It was a hot, hot mess. And I did not love it. I recognize the significance as I look back and how it helped to equip me, right? And again, if you've been here before, you know the story. 2014, 2015, multiple seven-figure years. 2016, 2017, and just about 2018. 2018, we were like right there. We were at like 900 and some thousand. But 16 and 17 were not seven-figure years. 18 was a just about seven-figure year. 19 was a multiple seven-figure year, and we've been climbing because I had to go back and do my work. And here's what I know, and here's what I want to share with you at this point in time. There are reasons, root reasons as I call them, that guilt shows up after massive financial expansion. And that's what we're going to get into. Number one, if you feel like you are being disloyal to your origin story, if you subconsciously fear that abundance means betrayal, you will literally worry that rising will cost you love, safety, connection with the people who raised you or the people who knew you before the money. And in fear, you will sabotage. We fear that our abundance will cost us belonging is what's being internalized for you if that is your root. Second root is internalized money morality. If you were taught explicitly or implicitly that wealth is greedy or selfish or ungodly, if you think that struggle is spiritual and that's what makes you closer to God and that overflow is indulgent, honey, you are going to be one of those people who subconsciously believe that God is more pleased with your suffering than he is with your surplus. And I'm here to tell you that that is not God's MO. Number three is when you have unregulated receiving capacity. Now, this one is all nervous system. If your nervous system has not normalized, say it with me, normalized overflow, that means even when your bank account rises, your internal thermostat resets to survival. So you'll end up creating stress in order to feel safe. You'll create busy to feel worthy, and you'll create pressure to feel purposeful. You are literally doing it to yourself. And you're saying things like, if I don't feel safe with more, then my body will actually sabotage to feel secure with less. The fourth root is fear of visibility or being rejected. More money often means more exposure, more visibility. More people are going to know who you are. And if you have any unhealed wounds around being seen, like if your parents told you when you were a kid, children should be seen and not heard, right? If you have any wounds around being seen, being chosen, or being attacked, success is going to feel dangerous to you. Not because of what you've done, but because of what being visible might cost you if that is actually the reality and the truth. And you'll find yourself saying things like, if people see the real me and what I have now, will they actually still love me and want to spend time with me? And if you think the answer is no, you will downplay and dismiss to prevent that from happening. The fifth root is shame around desire. If you've been conditioned to want just enough, like that story with my mom, money is only for what you need. So if you've been conditioned that way, when you start to want more, you'll begin to question your character. You'll begin to downplay and dismiss your dreams. You'll delay upgrades, or you'll disqualify yourself from luxury because you'll think that wanting more actually makes you less worthy. Oh my gosh. This is when the shame of desire makes you decorate your limitation and actually call it gratitude. Oh, shots fired. Here's what we know. Here's what I know. This is why we see CEOs making more, but self-sabotaging in very subtle ways. Here are some ways we see that sabotage happen. Launch fatigue. Checking out before the launch is even complete. Like you just finished your 3-day event and the next day you hop on a plane to go on vacation when there's still follow-up that needs to happen. Team drama. Overgiving. Undervaluing. Any of those things, or feeling like you have to start over again all over again and again and again, starting from scratch, right? Any of those ways of sabotaging will show up when you have guilt around having access to more. But here's what I want you to know and understand. Success without safety becomes a form of self-abandonment. It's story time again, y'all. I'm going to tell you a story about a colleague that I have known for many, many years. And we're going to give her a false name. We'll call her Susie. Susie is always the name I apply whenever I'm telling a story to protect the identity of those who are not here to defend themselves, right? Susie had been building her business for so many years, and she had been doing it very steadily. She was smart, she was spiritually grounded, she had a loyal audience, and she had finally had her first $1 million year after launching a premium group program. This was at the height of COVID-19, so we're talking 2020. I think it was like towards the end of 2020. But almost immediately after hitting the $1 million milestone, she started to spiral. She started to second guess everything, y'all. Every decision. I mean, you know how you tell a friend, listen, if you need anything, you need to talk, feel free to reach out, and you mean it, but the friend reaches out a lot because they're spiraling? Yeah, that's what was happening. She delayed hiring the ops support that she needed so desperately. She even started refunding clients who didn't even ask for refunds because she felt like it was too much. She couldn't do it all. And when we talked, I asked her one simple question: what in the world is going on? And I will never forget what she told me, y'all. I will never forget it. She said, and I quote, "I know how to hustle to get it, but now that I have it, I don't know how to hold it." Now, here's what I love. I loved her self-awareness to know that that was her issue. The fact that she recognized her upper limit problem, if you've ever read the book by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap, like the fact that she was self-aware, that's amazing, right? Her problem wasn't strategy, it was about capacity. Susie was bumping up against her own internal story, and the story was telling her that too much, too fast is dangerous. Y'all, how many times have you told yourself the same thing? How many times have you said, if I grow too big, I will lose control? Or if I keep going, I won't be able to rest or be loved, right? When you have tied your identity to being less. I know women this way who have husbands who can't handle them making more money. And so instead of rising into her own power, she downplays and dismisses. I've seen it time and time again. Her nervous system associated expansion with abandonment, exhaustion, and exposure. So even though her success looked like a blessing, her body registered it as a threat, y'all. And it wasn't until she actually began to do the work, and I only had a few sessions with her. She began to normalize overflow, to feel safe with ease, and to rewire her identity around what was possible, that she started to stabilize, and she actually scaled her business. Today, her business is doing more than $3 million a year. Her team is running without her being a micromanager. And more importantly, most importantly, she no longer fears the blessing that she prayed for. Y'all, I have seen this happen so many times. I can't even give you a number how many times I've seen this happen with clients, with friends, so many people, more times than I can count. And with our clients, we're able to support them through it because I know what it looks like, and we can help them to break the curse and set them up to actually expand their capacity, because it is absolutely a capacity issue. And when you understand this, everything begins to change, because at the point where you are starting to earn more, you have got to realize that you are not greedy. You are actually graced. How amazing is it? For those of you who are watching the video version, you'll see my hands on my heart. Like, how amazing is it to anchor into the fact that you are grace and you are getting exactly what you deserve? You're going to have to rewrite the story in your body and your brain, because they are telling you what your wealth means. Because if you don't, your subconscious mind will keep making your abundance feel like a threat instead of a testimony. And it will keep downplaying and dismissing what it is that you actually want to amplify and experience more of. When you spent years or even generations surviving, your nervous system is wired for familiarity, not freedom. So you have to understand that, because at the end of the day, if you don't, when overflow finally shows up, Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, is going to start scanning for danger. And if being wealthy was never safe in your environment, if it was not a thing that was normal, it's going to sound the alarm. Cue Beyonce, ring the alarm, right? In those moments, that is why you will suddenly feel like you're being too much. Like you're this big shiny object, right? Like all of a sudden everybody can see your flaws. You're too successful. You're too big for your own britches, as the old mothers used to say. But here's what I want you to hear. You are not too much. You are more than enough. That's what I want you to know. You are exactly who God designed you to be. You are the personification of what is possible when you operate in obedience, when your obedience meets overflow. That's the evidence of who you are being in those moments. And if you can interrupt the generational patterns that glorified the lack that was showing up in your life experience, you will be doing such a service for yourself and your future generations, right? 7 generations up, 7 generations back. The vessel of divine provision of who you are, because God needs someone to carry the mantle of wealth with integrity. So I want you to let your nervous system settle into that truth. Move your body if you feel a little resistance. That's what I want you to do. And I want you to take a moment as you're anchoring into what I'm sharing with you, and I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Number 1, who are you afraid of leaving behind if you rise into overflow? Number 2, who do you fear will judge your ease, your success, or your favor? And number 3, where are you dimming your light just to stay accepted in rooms that you've already outgrown? Because unhealed guilt will have you choosing loyalty over legacy every single time. And that is not how God designed you. That, my friend, is the real bondage. And we are not here to be bound. We are here to be bountiful. So who do you fear will judge your overflow, and where are you shrinking to stay accepted? That's what you need to figure out. If you can identify that, then everything will begin to change, because here's what we know. Guilt is not spiritual. Alignment is. Mic drop, full stop. This is why I'm holding the 7-figure shift workshop. This is why I created Sanctuary. Because until your relationship with yourself, with money and success are your sanctuary, you feel safe in your body with those 3, your move to millions is in jeopardy. So I want you to ask yourself, what part of you still feels unworthy of abundance? And where do you still feel like more will cost you love or belonging? And this is the real question. Are you willing to redefine what wealth means through a spiritual lens? And if so, I want you to register for the 7-figure shift. It is my powerful 3-day workshop. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. I want you to do it because you should not feel guilty for being graced. You do not have to shrink in order to be acceptable to other people. And you truly can release the fear of being judged for the abundance that is your birthright. You are safe with more. You are grounded in God, and it is absolutely your birthright, and you are worthy of it. I love this conversation. So if you are an entrepreneur or small business owner who is running a company and you feel like you've already made it, but you have not let yourself feel it, I want you to tap in. I want you to lean in. And if you know somebody who is a high earner who needs a reminder that their abundance is not a burden, send them this series. They need to listen to the whole series. This is what I want you to do, right? If this episode has stirred anything in you, if you have felt a release, a shift, or even if you felt some resistance, then I need you to know and understand this, beloved. You are not crazy. You are calibrating. You are making a powerful shift. We are doing some beginning work. And that's why I created the 7-figure shift workshop. And that's why I want you there. so that what we have begun actually manifests in your life experience. Because it's one thing to feel the pull towards your next level, and it's another to walk into it with clarity, conviction, and the capacity to actually hold it. We're after the latter. And I promise you, this is not just another masterclass or webinar filled with tactics. It's an activation for your whole body and your whole legacy. It's what your future generations don't even know they're waiting for you to learn so that you can shift the trajectory of their lives. So if you're ready to stop circling the same ceiling, and if you're ready to actually experience a shift in your money, your mind, and your nervous system so that your business begins to experience the boom that is your birthright as you go into your next dimension, get yourself registered for the 7-figure shift. The link is available to you in the show notes. This is also what this episode is powered by, the 7-figure shift. We want you to join us because millions are your birthright, and you already know. To access them, you need only move, and you cannot delay your next move because there are others that are waiting on you. Last thing I want to leave with you before we call it an episode is you do not have to apologize for your overflow. You just have to anchor into it, because wealth without guilt, that's the real flex. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.